Hello, hi. Today I want to talk about something pretty cool. I want to talk about pentacles, and I'm wearing one right here. I'm wearing the fifth pentacle of Venus, I believe, and they're talismans that are connected with the planets. And when I was around like 24, I believe, I started playing with magic, so to say, which is just playing with symbols and interpreting them in a certain way so that you can experience a certain result, which in a scientific way is just artistry, basically. So what I did was I was listening to some podcasts talk about this book called 𝖊𝖓𝖔k, and in it, it talks about planetary hours, talks about lunar mansions, and it talks about astrology in a way that was very inspiring to me in the time. And so I mixed what I learned from that book with my knowledge of astrology with these talismans, which are just images that relate to certain planets. So this pentacle, the pentacle of Venus, is supposed to make you more attractive, more alluring, more beautiful, and connected with the arts. And so I waited the whole year for the hour of Venus, the time when Venus was highly or favorably aspected in the sky. And then I made my own drawings of the talisman with the correct placements of the Hebrew letters, the correct replication of the image. And I did it for every single planet. And then I did it for also, I think, like 12 out of the 28 or 29 lunar mansions. And because I did it in the correct way, I think that I experienced some pretty radical experiences. Like one of the experiences was a storm where I experienced a double rainbow. And the way that the storm came about was just after I did the pentacle or the lamen of the lunar mansion. And it and then I experienced like a crow in the tree cawing, and it seems very strange to like talk about the experience, but like I say, magic or playing with these things that are archaic and stories from our ancestors or the people that came before us. It's a very personal thing. And it's similar to, I would say, a psychosis where you interpret every single thing around you in a way that you personally identify with what you're experiencing. But the thing is, you don't want to get into the trap of feeling like it's you that's making this happen. You just have to view yourself as a conduit or a vehicle for these changes to take place. For example, I always love telling this story. I used to work at a crystal and gem shop, and one of the employees was a Libra, signifying to me as Venus. And then I was in a very favorable aspect in my life, so I was symbolizing Jupiter, and there was a Venus and Jupiter conjunction. So I wanted to do a Venus and Jupiter spell. And so I drew the lunar mansion for what was happening that day. And then I started writing intentions associated with blessings, associated with achievement, associated with getting things that I desired. And I was writing them. And then to get the employee to add her energy to my spell, I had a crystal that had something that I knew that she would like, and then she was observing it, and then she picked up one of the crystals, and then she put it back, and I said, ha ha ha, now you're a part of my spell, and she just like looked at me like you're a weirdo, right? But then right after, a man came in that had blonde hair, and blue eyes, which is the symbol of Venus, and then handed me a bag full of cannabis. And then a friend came in with some muffins that she baked, and then a lady came in and then said, "Oh, you look like somebody who likes to wear lots of jewelry," because I like to wear lots of jewelry. And she offered to come to my house and give me bangles, and she gave me for like $1,000 worth of jade bangles, chariot bangles, and tungsten and whatnot. And I attributed that to my spell. It could have been a coincidence because these things happen in a very coincidental fashion. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But the thing is, though, I do this so often that I can see a pattern over time, and that's why I highly recommend everybody having a personal practice of doing these things. And it's very important, if you're going to establish a good track record of noticing these patterns, is not to do any type of will or wishing or magic, so to speak, on another person. Because the moment that you start focusing on another person, then it gets in the way of your own self-development, your own personal power, and then you start to be worried about what another person's going to do against you, or what life itself is going to do, like cause and effect. If you're wishing bad, you're going to experience bad. It's just a fact of life. So yeah, I hope this helps. Peace.